the first question that I wanted to know was, with how many young players are on the Lakers, which is very limited, what is their potential when they go onto this roster? What is it like? Do they have unlimited potential? Like, what does their growth look like?
So it's funny that you say that, because we have the Page of Pentacles we pulled the Page of Pentacles, which is meaning this is new opportunity, this is young opportunity, this is like a new teammate, a new young person coming onto the team. But what we also have, though, with it is we have the Wheel of Fortune, meaning that's old, that's someone old, that's someone who's been around, that's someone who's been in the spotlight. And what they're saying is that you have to embrace the new, but everybody, probably LeBron James, everybody's putting a lot of hype onto him, always a lot of pressure. But it's like he's served his purpose. He's like fulfilled his mission. He's done what he could do for basketball. And we need the new people, and he needs to be more of a coach or more of an inspiration to these young people to get them to hit their potential, which there isn't a lot of young people on this team. But the few people that are, be a really huge asset to the team if they actually like work with them and not just depend on LeBron James.
I'm excited because I kind of figured eventually oops, Freudian slip. Because Kobe's my real dad, so my stepdad, LeBron James. That's so funny. That just literally slipped. I figured like LeBron. I almost said it again. LeBron would be like the Obi-Wan. Is that what you're saying? Like kind of like take the team under his wing, show him the Force, that sort of thing.
Totally, and that's absolutely what needs to happen. And the other thing that really needs to happen for them is that. So I'm like hearing right now that like the Lakers have like a lot of not like hate towards them, but they have a lot of doubters. They have a lot of like they're going against a lot of people, naysayers, where they're like, all right, like we don't know if it's going to happen. So like this team, these players, especially the old heads or the experienced people on the team, they have to be the ones that they're like, this is more of a heart mission than this is more of a logic mission. Because a lot of the times when people see numbers stacked against them, or they see age, or they see like, you know, just teams or whatever developing, they're going to start to look at things logically. They're like, okay, well, like these people are going to beat these people, so we don't know if we're going to make it into the second round of the play. Like they're going to start looking at it like that. But what the players like have to do to realize is like this is more so of like a self-improvement thing that has really nothing to do with the other teams, has really nothing to do with like, you know, talent or skill set. Like this is like a personal, like their trajectory is a personal reflection of like how they feel about themselves, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay, I'm liking it so far. Can I ask my other?
No,
okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another one I wanted to ask. Now, I'm very concerned with Russell Westbrook on being on the Lakers. My biggest concern was just him being, you know, a huge part of having a winning season. So I guess my general question about Russell Westbrook is he going to have a high performance season on the Lakers this year?
Russell Westbrook, he needs to learn balance. So, and I mean like balance, not just like on like not just when he plays, but like balance like as like a person. So like he's like a hot or cold, and he doesn't idle at like the middle. And like for him to have like his like best successful years, he needs to idle at the middle. And so he's kind of like similar to who was the guy on the he played for Houston and then the Lakers.
James. What year?
Ron Artest.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He has a similar Ron Artest thing to him. So like what he needs, and remember Ron Artest, beat the shit out of a bunch of people or whatever, and the fans, and then he had to go through what he had to go through like off the court, and then it made him a better player, and then the Lakers won, right? So we're almost seeing a repeat in that, in the same type of energy. This is a person who's been temperamatic, or, you know, throwing tantrums, or like, you know, just having like emotional outbursts, but a good player. So off the court, he needs to manage some shit, because then he'll excel on the court, and then he can actually be an asset to the Lakers for sure.
So you're saying he needs to see a psychiatrist, is what you're saying?
He needs some love. He needs some shrooms.
There we go.
Needs some, therapy. He needs, he needs a little bit of love off the court.
And before I ask this next question, I should actually preface this when it comes to tarot card reading. Anything that happens months, even a year from now, can change due to events. So this is more of the energy going into what we see, or at least what the cards see for now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. That's just one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is exactly. So this is always, so especially with sports, like, because people, like, if you do tarot or you're a psychic or whatever, people are like, no such thing as, like, life being exactly, like, fate. Like, it's everything just already being predetermined, because there'd be no point if everything was predetermined. There's so many influences and factors, so there's tons of options. So if somebody gets traded, or somebody gets an injury, or somebody get in a car accident, or you know what I mean? There's so many, like, factors that go into it. So, like, this is, like, the energy going into it, or this is the energy of being like, hey, they can go into what are those things called? The playoffs. But it's like, this is showing you the energy that they need, or the things that they have to work on or develop in order to be successful.
Yes. So that was the whole thing where I don't want Laker fans coming to you going like, how come they didn't win the championship like you said? Like, I'm saying, like, yo, there's a lot of time in between what then and now, and anything could happen. Like, there's a lot of energy and unforeseen things that could come about. Going off of Mark's question about Russell Westbrook, a lot of people were questioning how Russell Westbrook would fit into the chemistry of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now, you mentioned his play when it comes to balance, but what will the chemistry be like with Russell Westbrook meshing with this team?
I think the chemistry, looking at the cards right now, I think the chemistry has to be something where everybody needs to feel, like, respected, and everybody needs to feel important. So as long as, LeBron James is pouring into him, but then Russell Westbrook is respecting him, they can have really good chemistry, because these people, they see each other's strengths. They see each other's skill sets. They see each other, you know what I mean? Like, they've competed against each other. They know that they're both tough. They know that they're both at the top of their games.
Yeah.
So they have potential to have really good chemistry. It's just as long as people aren't harping on egotistical, like, mindsets. Like, well, he thinks that he's going to do this. Well, I'm going to show. It's like, if they start messing with their ego, then we're going to have some problems. But we have the Two of Wands, which is, like, showing us that, like, we have multiple choices here. So, meaning that we have multiple dependable players. So, multiple dependable players, and we have that next to the world. And the world usually means, like, these are things coming to fulfillment. These are things, like, reaching, like, a good resolution. These are things that are our desires, like, happening before our eyes. So it shows that it's like, okay, there's multiple options for them to seek to get to this, the thing that they want. So,
like trading Westbrook. No, I'm joking.
But I think they have, like, my personal, like, when I sat and, like, thought about it, like, when I was looking at the cards, I feel like for sure we're definitely going into the playoffs. I think actually their most challenging team, I'm hearing, like, something in Texas. Like, it's either Mavericks or the Spurs or something. I don't know. I have not been paying attention to basketball, so I literally don't know whose team has who or who's whatever. But I'm seeing a challenge I'm seeing a block, like, in the Texas, like, Southwest area. So it could even be
Phoenix?
No, there's no team in Nevada, but it's like that Southwest area. That's the big block.
Phoenix. That's the first thing I think is Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix was in the NBA Finals last year. Dallas, maybe because of Luka Doncic, who's a superstar. He's a young guy that is kind of like the European version of LeBron James. But yeah, the Suns are pretty much the ones to worry about.